Good evening and welcome. Our program will begin in 10 minutes. Good evening and welcome. Our program will begin in 5 minutes. Thank you for joining us. We ask that you now silence your cell phones and note that the recording of this session is prohibited. Our program will begin momentarily.
Aloha kakua.
Hello. Hi, I'm Dr. Avni Patel.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deanne Hart.
Hi, I'm Eric Williams.
My name is Farhal Zedi.
Hi, this is Pedro Levonis.
My name is Dr. Luming Lee.
My name's Carl Chan.
Hi, I'm Drew Gupta.
This is Raman Marwaha.
Hi, I'm Sudhakar Shenoy.
Hi, I'm Tanuja Gandhi.
My name is Jacques Ambrose.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome to New York.
Of course, one of the things I have to do is catch a Broadway show.
I enjoy Broadway.
Love seeing musicals. So go to probably Central Park, get some good food to eat.
Check out some of the museums.
So walking is my favorite thing. So bring comfortable shoes.
I highly recommend the zoo.
I always make it a point of having some dim sum.
It's the New York style
Pizza, Brooklyn Bridge. I love pretending to be a Bollywood star running around Brooklyn Bridge.
And enjoying meeting people from around the globe.
And I get to see my old friends and catch up. This is truly the best thing about the annual meeting.
Get up to speed with what's happening in psychiatry, again, nationally, internationally.
If you're new to the annual meeting, first of all, the meeting can be very overwhelming.
It's so important to plan wisely.
Pick 2 or 3 things that stand out every day.
So make sure you get your APA program guide and the app to navigate the sessions carefully.
Cherish the time, and I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do.
It promises to be a wonderful event full of information and wonderful people in a wonderful city.
Make sure you're learning while also having fun at the same time.
Just enjoy yourself and have some fun and learn a lot.
This annual meeting is going to be wonderful.
We hope you have a wonderful time.
I hope you got the tape that you need.
And welcome to New York City, my town.
Please welcome APA's former presidents, international dignitaries, board of trustees, and other distinguished guests to the stage. Please welcome APA CEO and Medical Director, Dr. Saul Levin.
Good evening. Before I begin, I'd like to bring to the podium Dr. Amina Mirholm, President of the New York County Psychiatric Society, for the acknowledgement of the indigenous people. Dr. Mirholm.
Good evening, and thank you, Dr. Levin. New York City is home to one of the largest urban populations of indigenous people in the United States, and I would like to acknowledge them and the Lenape people whose land we have gathered on today. I recognize that we are guests of these ancestral lands of indigenous people who come before us and would like to honor them and their ancestors. Thank you. And from New York County Psychiatric Society, welcome to New York City.
Thank you, Dr. Mirholm. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us here as we ring in the start of the premier psychiatric event of the year. New York is one of the greatest cities in the world and the centers of American psychiatry. It is home to many of our members and many of the institutions that are leading the way in research, treatment, and of course, training the next generation of leaders in our field. In that sense, New York City is home away from home for our association. I can think of nowhere that I'd rather be for my last meeting as CEO Medical Director of APA than right here in New York City. It has been a great honor and a highlight of my career to lead the administration of this great association over the past 11 years. This was truly a dream job that I never ever contemplated as I was going through my residency. And I have to say one thing: thank you, thank you, thank you, and you're going to hear a lot of those thank yous. Leading an organization of APA stature during a time of radical healthcare changes, as we navigated issues like the Affordable Care Act, the emergence of telemedicine, and COVID, offered the greatest of challenges, but also provided a very rewarding experience. And in the pivot to telepsychiatry, it opened up doors to help our patients more easily access the treatment they need. Standing here today, I have to tell you how proud and humble I've been to work alongside the very talented and dedicated APA leadership, the administration, and the countless members of volunteers. Many of you are here today as we face these challenges together and advance both the profession and APA. I'm also proud of how we work together to update our brand, to best represent ourselves in this generation now as medical leaders focus on the future of our patients and the profession. To establish a mental health registry that is bringing psychiatry on a par with the other specialties of what is a registry that will really show the advances and the best treatments, which is rapidly moving forward to a new and novel ways of recording data and easing the administrative burden. And move to our wonderful headquarters back in Washington, D.C., in the heart of the government and advocacy for our country. I urge you, if you're ever in D.C., even if it is for a day or 2 days, come to the office. It is truly wonderful in both its design, in seeing that beautiful Potomac River, and more importantly, also the Capitol building. It is your home from home. We even have an area where you as members can come and do your work while maybe the family is going out to do a little bit of sightseeing. Looking back, a moment I will never forget as I took the board to see the newly completed office space was a conversation I overheard with an APA past president and a resident fellow. At the time, the past president voiced some concerns about how a shiny new headquarters in a highly sought-after area of Washington might send the wrong message. But I remember our young resident providing a different perspective. She told him that the location and the look of the new building and the offices made her proud to be a member of the APA, and that psychiatry was rightfully taking its place as an equal in the House of Medicine. And our home in Washington stands as a testament to that idea. She was right. The past president thought for a moment, fully understanding her point of view, and then said, "You know, I never thought of it that way. I agree with you," as have numerous members and guests who have visited our beautiful offices since. I also want to call out the tremendous impact that the APA Foundation, under the leadership of Raul Andrews and his amazing staff, has made over the years, as well as the vision of its board and executive director to launch the Mental Health Care Works Awareness campaign that has gotten great traction in less than a year, and its momentum continues. I've always said when people say, "What do you want your legacy to be?" And I said, you know, I believe in the transience of people. You hear when you're here and you do your best and then you move on. But there's one thing I'd like to ask the association. It is time for us to leave the word stigma behind. It is an old-fashioned word. It was when they were busy hanging in Massachusetts, you know, people who were mentally ill, but they said the devil was inside of them. That was where the stigmata that they were put on those people who were then burning at the stake. It is time to us to remember we have advanced. We have amazing medications. We have amazing new novel treatments, that we are about to open those secrets of the brain that will really, I hope, in the next decade or two, one day be able to cure some of our mental illnesses, to make sure that you could live with it as easy as any other illness. And that's how we've got to start talking about our association. We are now psychiatrists, physicians, and we're here in this now century where we are at the lip of basically showing how much new knowledge we have of the working of the brain and how we can take care of everyone. So let us take a look as to what we're going to be doing, both in terms of a video, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the campaign.
As our nation's mental health crisis continues, the need for mental health care and substance use treatment remains more urgent than ever. Thanks to the American Psychiatric Association Foundation and the amazing work of psychiatrists and other mental health care professionals, people are finally understanding the power of mental health care. But our work is far from over. Last year, we launched a powerful campaign laying the groundwork that mental health care works. Now, we're building on that momentum and amplifying our outreach to drive action across the nation. We're featuring even more personal storytelling so that more people than ever can see themselves and understand their mental health care options. Most importantly, we're empowering people to ask for help and take an active role in their care through a clear, accessible call to action. The American Psychiatric Association Foundation and its supporters will ensure that more people than ever are equipped to make the call and begin their treatment journey. Because when they take that all-important first step and reach out for help, we are there to help answer the call.
This campaign reinforces the messaging that there's nothing to be ashamed of when seeking mental health care, and that mental disorders and substance use disorders are not a moral failing, but are illnesses just like hypertension, diabetes, and others. It is amazing to me that it is the younger generation, 18 years and up, who you go onto a university campus, you will hear them talking about their depression, their anxieties, their PTSDs, as if it was just another illness like any other. And me, in the generation I'm in, and those older than me, still tend to not talk about it, as if it is something that we need to keep hidden from both the general public and maybe even some of our family. We need to follow the younger generation, which are amazing in their love of psychiatry and wanting to be part of this wonderful profession. It also elevates APA and psychiatry's role as a leader in the mental health care to the public, which is clearly looking for us to really lead them and to show them that we're there to help. I'm proud to say that the state of our association, APA, is strong. And it is getting stronger because each and every one of you are members that really perform every day, sometimes into the late night, sometimes on weekends, your work that helps our patients. APA's membership is growing once again post-COVID. We're now nearly reaching 39,000 members, our highest in 25 years. And it is becoming more of a, thank you. And it is becoming more reflective of our patients and of the deepening diversity of culture and identity in our nation. Today, IMGs make up around 30% of active psychiatrists in the United States and are a crucial component of American psychiatry. As an IMG myself, I know that while the transition to a new country and a culture can be very difficult, it can also be rewarding and beneficial for everyone, as you learn from your new colleagues and your patients and share your own unique knowledge and experience in turn. Whatever our background, we as psychiatrists all share a passion for our work and the health of our patients. Today it is so exciting to see the unprecedented interest in the investment of our profession. Thanks in part to the APA advocacy, 100 out of 200 new graduate medical education residency spots were allocated by the Congress to psychiatry and psychiatry subspecialties, an unprecedented number. We usually would get 25. And while more are needed, our government leaders now understand that our country is facing a mental health crisis, and that we all need as many new psychiatrists and physicians as possible to meet the demand for care. This understanding represents a seismic shift for just a decade ago. I'm very happy to report that psychiatry has never been so popular. When the match comes out, I'm one of the people, like everyone else, who's waiting to see is how well did psychiatry do in matching on the first round, the second, the third, the fourth. And I have to say, because we're so popular, we are indeed trending. Can you imagine a 98% rate of first-day matches, even in a few years ago? The last 3 years, we have been working our way up to that 98%. I'm also so grateful that APA's ongoing efforts to promote psychiatry have paid off, and there's a broader recognition amongst the public and the prospective doctors of the essential role that mental health plays in our overall health and well-being. As we gather at our annual meeting each year, I'm reminded of an incredible knowledge, creativity, and enthusiasm that our members, you who take care of all our patients, possess. You only have to look at our scientific program and the poster sessions to see some of the incredible work that our members are doing, from teaching to research to care and to treatment for our patients. Our early career psychiatrists and even medical students are here showcasing their work as well. And I have to tell you, it is really amazing what they've done so early in their career journey. It is personally rewarding for me to see so many young people who not only want to join our profession, but are driven to succeed and really break new ground when they do. I encourage you to attend the poster sessions. meet and connect with our younger members and the medical students, and speak to them about their projects and their career visions, and finally, please consider becoming a mentor. I often say, you as their mentor gets more out of it than I think the mentee sometimes gets out of it, because we're able to give back what we received, hopefully, from our mentors. More than anything, my experience with mentorship put me on a path to leadership in this association and really gave me a passion for our mission as psychiatrists. I will never forget the guidance and learning I experienced from my mentors when I was a resident. It bound me to APA, my district branch, and to the profession, and cemented my love for what we do every day. And whenever that love waned, working with a mentee was always a surefire way to reignite that passion, because you got it from them. So let's work together through mentorship to help the younger generation to ensure a psychiatry's bright future. To those younger members in the audience tonight, I'm going to share with you something that those of us who have been around a while have come to appreciate. Something that struck me since attending my first annual meeting in 1984. APA is an association, sure, but it can really be a source of lifelong community for you if you're willing to take the step to get to know your colleagues. I encourage you to take that step. Today, there are people in the audience who were with me during my residency, who have been with me all the way through my early career psychiatrist and then going into the rest of my career. The same inquisitiveness and collaborative spirit that is at the heart of this meeting and indeed drove many of us to choose this profession in the first place is still strong in me, even as I retire. APA presidents have been some of my strongest supporters over the years, especially as I was just beginning my tenure as CEO. Many of them are here today on this with me tonight, and I have to really thank them, for being here tonight. I'd like to ask the presidents to please stand so we can honor them for their work that they've done to keep this association strong. Thank you. On behalf of the APA and all of psychiatry, we thank you for your service. And above all, I thank you for your wise counsel, and at times you're slapping me on the wrist to say, what were you thinking? Because in some ways it was a partnership. And that partnership is exactly what all of us in this room have. We are all one. Together, we will succeed and we will rise. If we begin to splinter ourselves, it makes it we lose something on it. I'm thrilled about subspecialties coming into the fold, because with that we not only have those that are going to be experts in their particular area, but we'll add to the numbers eventually, I hope, as we fight on the Hill for more positions to get more GME slots on that. On a more somber note, I also want to recognize the passing of two past presidents this year. John Talbot, who served as president from 1984 to 1985. And earlier this week, Herb Pardes, APA president from 1989 to 1990, and a true giant in psychiatry. Herb, at my first meeting as the Burroughs Wellcome Fellow, now Leadership Fellow, as I sat on the board, once called me a whippersnapper when I dared to say to him, why do we have all these thick books? And I can see the majority of them haven't even read the book. Some have big tabs in them, others have a few tabs in them, and the rest just look at their friends as to how they should vote. And that's when he called me a whippersnapper. How dare you tell us how to do it? I said, why don't you have a consent calendar? That would be a lot better, because we go through everything in those 2.5 days, and yet we come out with the same solution that is already in that book, And I've got to tell you that him calling me a whippersnapper, I thought my career was over in psychiatry. I would never get anywhere in this association. But you know what? A year later, he called me up and he said, Saul, I want to just tell you what I've just done. We've gone to a consent calendar. And you know what? Thank you, thank you, thank you. The young people in this audience have ideas that really also can help our association as we go up. So I thank the younger generation. Speak up. Let our elders know that there are different ways we can do things, and take it from them. As psychiatrists, and today I mourn the loss of him, he was right up to literally 2 weeks before he died. I spoke to him and he thanked me. And I said to him, you don't have to thank me for anything. I owe you more because I owe you my profession. As psychiatrists, we have a great legacy of leaders and leadership in our profession and association. All of us stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, building on their great works and accomplishments. And I say particularly the presidents, because it's been a long road for you to get there, and you've been there through thick and thin, through the ups and downs of how the country would allow us to work, tell us how we have to do, how many hours, how much they'll pay for us. You've stood fast and you've argued our case, and in many cases we've actually succeeded. To all those who've helped me along the way, whether they're here tonight or not, I offer my sincere thanks for your service and thoughtful leadership. And for our frank and honest discussions and conversations through complicated issues and disagreements that have helped chart the best path forward that I felt for our association, but always seeking to consult with my members and particularly my board and the assembly and the councils. APA has always been my professional home. Rest assured, I will be back in 2025. I always believe you've got to give the new CEO enough air to breathe to really begin to make it their organization as their CEO. So I will be moving ultimately to Los Angeles to experience the love about with my family and my membership. But this time I will be Secretary General of the World Psychiatric Association. I'm very pleased that we have with us tonight WPA President, my President, Professor Danuta Wasserman. Can you please give us a wave, Danuta? Yeah. An amazing woman, amazing career, and an amazing leader that leads all the psychiatric associations in this world. And she does it with both aplomb, with diplomacy, and also sometimes with a little bit of a tap on the wrist, like, come on, we've got to get up to date. In my new role of WPA, I look forward to collaborating on the big issues that affect the psychiatrists and patients the world over. As there's far more that binds us than separates us. We are one world and one profession after all. I want to take a moment to thank my family for always being there for me throughout my life. Dr. Viva Etten, MD JD, who's also my older sister, she never lets me forget that, of course, has been my guardian angel, always looking after me in good times and bad times. She has always been my North Star, who stood by my side and celebrated my achievements and accomplishments. She was my Rachel de Beer. You may not know that, but we're happy to tell you when I'm off the stage. She has always looked after me. Cara Bensky, my sister just below me, and her husband, and her two wonderful boys. Chad, who's climbing the corporate ladder at Nestle International, and Todd, who's completing his final year of medicine in Australia. And Mira Levine Gonzalez, my baby sister, who's also helped me and the family to lighten up. She's the hippie in the family. Lighten up, she'd say, have fun. Her daughter Sienna of 11 is well-rounded, a wonderful young girl who loves sports and life, and she's the sparkle in my eye whenever I see her and my two other nephews in Australia. Looking back in my 11 years at APA, there's been ups and downs, but I've always felt a special connection with the members. I cherish the thousands of calls, texts, emails, and letters I received. I'm reminded of a handwritten letter I recently received from a member who sent me his annotations on a Wall Street Journal article that covered the topics of AI, childcare, and gender identity. I had to go through it with literally a looking glass to actually make sure that I could read what he had written in his tiny scrawl. I loved receiving those communications like that one, where our members would put their passion and knowledge of the issues on display, ask for my thoughts, start a dialogue of how APA should respond, and even be the genesis of position statements and treatment guidelines. I will miss many things when I leave my role as APA and CEO and Medical Director, but that kind of spontaneous dialogue with members will definitely be one, and will one be for the new CEO coming in. As I begin the next chapter and career of my life, I know I have APA, the amazing membership, to thank for instilling that in me. I'd like to thank the incoming CEO and Medical Director, Dr. Marquita Wills. She's going to make an incredible CEO and Director. The time I've spent with her here and on the phones before that, once she was announced, it is truly a wonderful person to help now take the reins of the administration and the association. You are really going to love working with her. Dr. Wills, I'm not sure where you are, but wherever you are, I can't see. There she is, right? I don't know if we can get the spotlight on her. And I know she's saying, Saul, you're going off script. Right? Keep to script. So with that, I thank you all. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've made my life feel as if I've represented you. You've also told me how I need to do better, and for that I greatly appreciate it. It's not just the accolades, it's also when can you do better. You are my family, and I will never forget you. And now I'd like to ask our esteemed scientific program chair, Dr. Eric Williams, to come to the microphone and take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Levin. And now, on behalf of the American Psychiatric Association, Dr. Petros Slavonis, Dr. Saul Levin, and the entire Scientific Program Committee, I would like to formally welcome you all to New York for the annual meeting. Over the past 12 months, the members and staff of the Scientific Program Committee have worked tirelessly to bring you the program for this meeting. Every session, every speaker you see here this week is thanks in large part to their efforts. I'd like to invite the members of the committee and staff to please stand and be recognized. Members of the program committee will be wearing red ribbons on their badges, so feel free to say hello in the hallways and give them feedback on the meeting or just tell them thank you for their work. This year's theme, Confronting Addiction from Prevention to Recovery, sets the stage for a series of compelling sessions aimed at addressing this crucial aspect of mental health. Thank you to Dr. Petros Slavonis with his visionary leadership, who has shaped the meeting to facilitate conversations that are not only timely, but also pivotal. As we gather this week, we embark on discussions that are critical to understanding and navigating the multifaceted challenges posed by addiction. I'd like to take a moment to highlight some of the tracks you will find at the meeting this year. First is an in-depth track curated specially for residents, fellows, medical students, and early career psychiatrists. This track is designed to provide our younger members and colleagues with a guided experience through the meeting with content specifically tailored towards their interests and needs. We also have dedicated tracks on ethics, technology, the role of arts and humanities in psychiatry, and one for international medical graduates. The popular clinical updates track is also back for a third year, and I encourage you to check out those sessions for the latest and best practices for immediate application in your practice. If you're going to go to one of those sessions, get there early. All of these and more are available in our meetings, our APA Meetings app. So I encourage you to open it up, browse the program, explore the various tracks and sessions being offered, and build your schedule for the rest of the meeting. Once again, welcome to New York and to the annual meeting. I am honored to have chaired the program committee for the past 2 years and to have led the charge with providing you with this excellent educational program. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Catherine Kennedy to the podium. Dr. Kennedy.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Kiki Kennedy, Chair of APA's Council on Advocacy and Government Relations. I am delighted and honored to introduce APA President Dr. Petros Liounis. Dr. Liounis is a distinguished professor and chair of the Department of Psychiatry at Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School, as well as the Associate Dean for Professional Development. He also serves as the Chief of Service at University Hospital in Newark, New Jersey. Beyond these professional accolades, Petros is also a cherished colleague and dear friend. We have partnered together on several projects over the years, and I have come to understand a few things about Petros. First, Petros expects to find goodness in everything. He always leads with his trademark positive energy and huge smile. He understands that one secret to finding goodness is that you also need to open yourself up to the good. Second, Petros searches for goodness everywhere he goes. Whether he is on the hunt for a good Greek salad, which I'm told he could eat every day, or seeking the solace of nature in a simple woodland hike, Petros actively and intentionally searches for the good in everything. I'm told that he even loves getting a front row seat at a piano concerto so he can witness the pianist's virtuosity. Third, not only does Petros discover the good, he also does good. And not only in front-facing ways as APA president and department chair, but also behind the scenes. Petros does good deeds, both large and small, to set things right. For example, here in New York City, his hometown, Petros has a passion for helping out New York City's city bike system. After work, he loves nothing more than to go out and move bicycles from busy bike stations to empty ones where they are needed most. He helps out both the community and the environment by this small act. Helping get bikes where they are needed easily translates into the focus of his work, his presidential year. Improving access to quality addiction treatments for all people who need care. Petros has fought stigma by reminding everyone that substance use disorders are the same as any other medical condition, and he has worked diligently to educate the public and reach the medical workforce with the message that addictions are preventable and treatable. Throughout his presidential tenure, Petros has brought his signature smile, enthusiasm, and desire to do good. He has been a good and generous leader, helping to get the APA on a good track for the future. Today, APA is in transition with a new CEO taking the helm, and I am so grateful to Petros for his stewardship of our organization during this time. I am hopeful that by working together and finding the good in each other, that APA and psychiatry is on the road to a good and bright future. And so, without any further delay, please join me in extending a very warm welcome to the wonderful Dr. Petros Lavounis.
Thank you, Kiki. Thank you for this wonderful introduction. I have a hunch as to where you got some of this information, some of these guys right here in the front row. But let me tell you, that thing with the bikes, it's the best way to go in New York City. I mean, doing the APA in New York City is really tough. The traffic is horrendous. You get on your bike, you go to the Marriott, you come back. It's the best thing ever. And also, I mean, when you think about the magnificent Hudson River and just going up and down, wonderful, wonderful rides. So all for the bikes. I can think of no better place to wrap up my year as APA president with all of you, the members of the APA and our colleagues from allied professions, than right here in New York City, my hometown, for the premier mental health event of the year. I'm honored to be presiding over the 2024 American Psychiatric Association annual meeting with the theme, Confronting Addiction from Prevention to Recovery. I was inspired to create this year's theme drawing on my own professional experience, as well as the knowledge, the passion, the expertise of our membership. This year, we decided to address the burden that substance use disorders and the behavioral addictions, things like internet, sex, gambling, have on our patients and more broadly on society. As psychiatrists, our mission is one of healing, education, and advocacy. Focusing on prevention and recovery maximizes our impact. That is why 1 year ago in San Francisco, I announced my presidential initiative on confronting addiction from prevention to recovery. And this was a public, and has been a public education advocacy campaign that covers 4 of the biggest topics in addiction medicine: tobacco and vaping, opioids, alcohol, and the emerging field of the technological addictions. We undertook this initiative because we are in a unique moment where we have incredible science, research, and tools that can help in the treatment of substance use disorders. Some of these, like naloxone and buprenorphine, for example, mean the difference between life and death for someone who lives with an opioid use disorder. But here's our challenge. Many of our patients are either unaware or unable to access treatments that can help them overcome the hold that addiction has on their lives. Similarly, many clinicians are hamstrung by regulatory hurdles and legal gray areas that can lead to hesitancy in prescribing treatments that are not only life-changing for a patient, but also perfectly legal for the clinician. And so, we set upon our mission to leverage on impressive advocacy and communications apparatus of the APA administration and our own addiction psychiatry expertise to do 2 things, and really just 2 things. A, dispel myths and misinformation about addiction, and B, state as loudly as possible that treatment for addiction is available, safe, and effective. 12 months later, I can say that we have moved the needle significantly. I'm deeply grateful to the members of the Presidential Initiative Work Group on Addiction, including the chair, the absolutely amazing Dr. Smita Das, and the psychiatrists who served as subject matter experts for each of the 4 areas. Dr. Tohid Zaman for tobacco and vaping, Dr. Jeremy Kidd for alcohol, Dr. Lee Fenno for opioids, and Dr. James Scherer for technology. Each of them represents the very best of our field and embodies the passion and dedication to our work that is the hallmark of the APA members. They are the reason why we have been so successful in disseminating evidence-based messages through social media, podcasts, animated videos, op-eds, and numerous interviews on major TV networks. Together, with a huge lift from the incredible APA staff, we have been able to create engaging content reaching both the general public and physicians alike, while at the same time we have built strong collaborative ties with allied organizations. This was evidenced last summer when we hosted a convening of allied organizations that included leaders from the American Academy of Addiction Psychiatry, the American Society of Addiction Medicine, the American College of Physicians, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Academy of Family Physicians, and the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Right away, it was obvious that everyone in the room shared a passion for making a difference in the lives of our patients, in the practices of our respective members, in the overall health of the communities we serve, and in the nation overall. We came away from that convening with a commitment to marshal our resources, share communications, and collaborate on best practices whenever possible. And our collective efforts reached millions of people in the process. And I'm very confident that the legacy of this initiative will continue to impact millions more in the years to come. And speaking of the future, I'm absolutely thrilled that Dr. Marquita Wills will become the APA's next CEO and medical director next month. Dr. Wills has spent her career driving innovation and promoting mental health care of the highest quality. This is exactly the kind of experiential knowledge and mindset needed to lead the APA in a future where forward thinking and adaptability to a rapidly changing healthcare landscape will be absolutely essential. I can say with confidence that with Marquita at the helm, the future of the APA is in very good hands. Dr. Wills is here in the audience today. Marquita, could you please stand? All right, there. Okay, let's look at it. Thank you so much, Marquita. This has been a tremendous year for me and for the APA. And I am truly grateful to have had the opportunity to work with so many to fulfill our mission. It truly has been a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I can't think of anything more gratifying, more deeply satisfying than what I have been able to engage in the past year. But no matter what I may have given the APA over the years, it doesn't begin to compare with what the APA has given me. And for that, I'm deeply grateful. To Dr. Saul Levin and the APA administration, the backbone of the APA, thank you. Thank you for your tireless dedication to advancing psychiatry, advocating for our patients, and serving the needs of the membership. To the APA Board of Trustees, thank you for selflessly volunteering your time, energy, and expertise to oversee the direction of this organization. To the APA membership, thank you. Thank you for the trust and confidence you placed in me and for giving me the opportunity to lead this great organization. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as president of the American Psychiatric Association. And last but not least, I want to thank my family, my friends, and my husband, Lucas, who's here with us tonight, skipping the Coney Island Film Festival, where his latest film is screening. Thank you. Thank you for your support and understanding, as the demands of this role sometimes meant less time together. Know that I could not have done it without you, and for that, I am deeply grateful. Thank you so much. So, thank you all. As president, I had the distinct pleasure of selecting the American Psychiatric Association Gives Back organization. As you are aware, for many years, APA has selected a local charity in the host city of its annual meeting. Collectively, we've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to these organizations. These years, I'm so pleased that our recipient is the Ali Forney Center. This wonderful organization is the nation's largest and most comprehensive organization dedicated to protecting LGBTQ+ youth from the harms of homelessness. Among many other life-saving supports, they offer medical and mental health services for these young people. This year, we're collectively donating more than $25,000. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Naz Sinoth, the head of programs, and Ms. Beth Wolf, the head of medical and mental health services at the Ali Forney Center, to accept the donation. Thank you both so much for the work that you do. And now I would like to invite Dr. Michael Myers to the podium. Michael.
Good evening. Eleanor Roosevelt, commenting on leadership, said, "To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart." Dr. Ramaswamy Viswanathan, affectionately known as Dr. Vis, or simply Vis, leads with both. He has an amazing and extensive background. I urge you to look up his professional biography on the APA website. Born in India and a prize-winning medical student at Madras Medical College, he immigrated to the United States and began residency training here in New York City. He is board certified in psychiatry, internal medicine, geriatric psychiatry, forensic psychiatry, addiction psychiatry, and consultation liaison psychiatry. He's a He's also a great guy. He's professor of psychiatry and interim chair of our department at SUNY Downstate Health Sciences University here in Brooklyn, New York. But this is only some of the head stuff that Eleanor Roosevelt lauds. I want to turn now to how Vis uses his heart. I met him in the 1990s when we were both serving in the APA Assembly. Representing minority and underrepresented groups, he was always at the microphone, speaking with passion about various matters and writing action papers. He has held office in the APA continuously since 1992. He loves the APA. Since coming to Downstate myself in 2008, I've come to know Vis more intimately. Two more examples of how he leads with his heart. One, his mentoring of medical students, residents, and fellows in CL psychiatry. It's huge. Almost all of his many publications are co-authored with his trainees. Second, his chairing of psychiatry grand rounds. I serve on the committee. His vision shines here. Many of our rounds are collaborative, not only with almost every department at Downstate, but other sites in Brooklyn. We have commemorative grand rounds each year for World Suicide Prevention Day, for Black History Month, for Women's History Month, and many other rounds that warrant recognition and pause. Representation is Vis's middle name. Vis's love for his family is palpable and undergirds his leadership style. His wife, Dr. Kusum Viswanathan, his sons, Vivram and Vivek, and his daughter, Dr. Vidya Bhavani Viswanathan. Please join me in welcoming the 153rd President of the American Psychiatric Association, Dr. Ramaswamy Viswanathan.
Thank you, Dr. Myers, for your kind words. How did I get here? Where am I going? My life began with a big tragedy, but has since been filled with a number of blessings. When I was 2 years old, my father died of a heart attack at the age of 42. My mother, who had not finished high school and was not working, was left to care for 5 young children, of whom I was the youngest. To this day, a painful aspect of my life is that I have no memory of my father. In Indian society in those days, if you are without a father, your social standing was demoted. However, I was blessed by the mentoring of many family members, teachers, and even strangers who showed kindness and a special interest in me. Very early on, I realized that it was important to learn from the experiences of others and by observing what others do. If you tend to rely on only your own experience, remember the saying, experience is a comb which nature gives bald men. After medical school at Madras Medical College, India, I came to the US for residency, doing internal medicine first, then psychiatry residency at SUNY downstate. It was not long before I joined the APA and became involved in governance. I was the first person of color to be elected president of the Brooklyn Psychiatric Society. Now I'm the first person in Brooklyn, New York, to be elected president of our APA. In this moment, I remember my mother. Her only goal in life was that all her children finish high school. How nice it would have been if she were alive today to see the position her son has risen to. My path to here, thank you. My path to here has been shaped by a number of colleagues. I learned and grew a lot in my years of service in the APA Assembly, components, and advocacy, absorbing knowledge and skills from critically thinking psychiatrists with diverse experiences. I worked together with them, developing some key ideas and action papers. I grasped how to break the glass ceiling by observing women and minority leaders. Now that I will assume the office of APA presidency on May 8, what are my plans for our APA? I have chosen as my presidential theme, lifestyle for positive mental and physical health. The 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine are regular exercise, both aerobic and resistance, healthy eating, restorative sleep, stress reduction, avoidance of harmful substances, and positive social connectedness. 80% of healthcare spending in the United States is for the treatment of conditions attributable to unhealthy lifestyle choices. Patients suffering from severe mental disorders, such as schizophrenia, major depression, and bipolar disorders, have a reduced life expectancy of about 10 to 25 years compared to the general population. Social determinants of health also affect these lifestyle factors. There is considerable evidence for the effectiveness of lifestyle interventions in both physical and mental health. Neuroimaging shows increase in hippocampal brain volume after 12 weeks of moderate intensity aerobic exercise in patients with schizophrenia and normal controls, and this is accompanied by reduction in negative symptoms and improved cognitive functioning. Patients with moderate depression improve as much when treated with an exercise program as when treated with an SSRI, both partly acting via stimulating release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, that promotes hippocampal growth. People who eat an ounce of nuts every day, any kind of nuts, walnuts, peanuts, cut their stroke risk by half. Imagine that, cutting the stroke risk by half. Mortality risk by 15%. And if they are depressed, the depression improves due to anti-inflammatory effects and BDNF secretion. Lifestyle interventions should be offered in addition to psychotherapy, pharmacotherapy, other somatic therapy, and attention to social determinants of health, not only to ameliorate or cure illnesses, but to help people lead positive, meaningful lives. I plan to work with our Lifestyle Psychiatry Caucus and other components of our APA and other organizations for our APA to develop a lifestyle medicine and psychiatry educational curriculum for our trainees and members, disseminate this knowledge and encourage practitioners and systems to implement lifestyle interventions for themselves and their patients, and promote research in this area. I also intend to work with the APA Foundation to incorporate healthy lifestyle promotion in their activities, such as the Mental Health Care Works campaign. I urge all our members to contribute to our APA Foundation and also to our APA Political Action Committee, which helps with our advocacy efforts. Other areas I will focus on are advocacy, education, research, technology, including artificial intelligence, workforce issues, reducing practice burden, addressing social determinants of health, diversity, equity, inclusion, and member value and engagement. Promoting the development of our resident fellow members and early career psychiatrists has been a major hallmark of my career, and I will continue to focus on this in my presidency. I very much look forward to working on these issues with our amazing incoming CEO and medical director, Dr. Marketa Wills, and the APA board, assembly, components, members, and staff. In closing, there are a number of people I'm thankful to. I'm mentioning only some of them here. I thank Saul Levin, all the division chiefs and staff of our APA, Michael Myers, Jack McIntyre, the late Rodrigo Munoz, Richard Harding, Roger Peel, Paul Applebaum, Steve Schaafstein, Neda Startland, Alan Schatzberg, Dilip Jeste, Paul Summergrad, Michael Blumenfield, Jagannathan Srinivasa Raghavan, Alta Stewart, Bruce Schwartz, Vivian Pender, Rebecca Brendel, Petros Livonis, and a number of other APA colleagues, and more recently, international colleagues like Danuta Wasserman for the role in my professional development. I especially thank my wife, Kusum Viswanathan, a pediatric hematologist-oncologist who is in the audience, for solidly supporting all my professional endeavors and offering me very helpful advice. I also thank my children who are also in the audience, Vikram, Vivek, Vidya, their spouses and children, and other extended family members, and many friends for making my life so joyous and meaningful. Finally, I thank our United States of America. This country has given me and countless other immigrants immense opportunities. And I thank you, my APA colleagues, for putting your trust in me, for electing me to lead our association. I promise to work with you for the betterment of our patients and the global community. Thank you. Thank you. Now, please let us welcome back Dr. Livonis to the podium. Dr. Livonis.
Thank you, Vis, for this incredible talk, and all the best to you. I'm so confident that the APA is in great hands between Marketa and Vis. We're doing well here. Dr. Saul Levin, I want to take a moment to recognize you and your accomplishments over the past 11 years of exemplary service that you have contributed to our association as CEO and medical director. On behalf of the board and the membership of the American Psychiatric Association, I want to thank you for leading our association and profession and bringing the APA into the 21st century. I'd like to highlight a few of those significant advances in these next minutes. Our brand was long overdue for a facelift reflecting our organization and profession, and you made it a top priority. This change was a significant one and a necessary one, because while our profession is one that is steeped in history, our best years are absolutely ahead of us, and you knew that our brand needed to reflect that. In 2018, you had the vision to move our organization back into Washington, D.C., and buy a building in the up-and-coming wharf area of the city. Yes, that's an extra applause right here. This move better positioned us to bring our members' voices to the national stage. Looking to the future, you pushed us to establish a mental health registry to bring psychiatry on par with other specialties, offering research and easing the burden of reporting for psychiatrists, and making it easier for our members to give patients the best possible care. The American Psychiatric Association membership has grown and diversified under your leadership, now numbering nearly 39,000, our highest total in a quarter century, and primed us for continued growth. And you have been a visionary leader of the APA Foundation as its board chair, leading the foundation to launch the incredibly impactful Mental Health Care Works public awareness campaign, driving action so that people can better understand where their treatment journey may be able to begin. The job you've done over the past 11 years was not an easy one. I can say without reservation that the APA is better positioned than ever to support our members in their day-to-day practice to realize our broader mission of a more mentally healthy nation and world. But I'm not the only one who feels this way. I'd like to share some additional words from your friends and colleagues.
I've known Saul Levin for over a decade, and I know him because he's one of the towering leaders of world psychiatry.
This is the CEO of the American Psychiatric Association, and he is listening. I love that.
I've enjoyed working with Saul from day one when he took over the APA. He hit the ground running, trying to make sure the Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act was fully enforced.
One of the things that Saul was able to do was to bring the APA together with other organizations.
He made a point to remember our names, even though we were just residents, and that made an impression on me.
As my mentor, Dr. Levin has always encouraged me to pursue opportunities, to challenge myself to be a better physician leader in my community.
Saul has been an incredibly energetic and positive leader for the APA. He's done a superb job guiding the organization successfully through a period of rapid change.
He has led with intellect, he's led with passion, he's led with always protecting the field and the science of psychiatry.
It was Saul who paved the way and laid the foundation for a powerful and a successful APA-AMA delegation that advocated on behalf of all psychiatrists.
Saul has done really a terrific job in improving, not only improving the APA function, but also its image in the public mind.
An impact that he's had that I've been able to witness and being a mentor for me as well is within the area of diverse population.
Strongest value that I see his impact is that APA became very dynamic and very inclusive.
And as the first openly gay APA CEO, I imagine it must have felt very good to him to be able to preside over the organization in an era when we can finally fully embrace and celebrate diversity.
I
remember standing in the distance, fangirling over him, thinking how special he is and what a face of psychiatry he truly is.
He is wickedly funny, as they say in Boston. So even though we've had our share of complicated issues to deal with, tensions and disagreements over the years, we can always count on each other to laugh and to laugh very, very hard.
He's always been very supportive of my leadership style and skills, and I know that in the past he's worked within tribal communities.
It was Saul that kept our focus on being back in Washington, D.C. He felt that that was major importance for the APA.
I am forever grateful for his work for our profession, our association, as well as my personal friendship with him.
You have positioned me to do what I'm doing now as the CEO of NAMI, which happened as a result of seeing, watching, and being with you.
Saul's legacy at the APA will continue to live on, and we're so excited to see everything he's going to do with WPA and in his next endeavors.
You know, we're all in this together, and Saul not only fought for psychiatrists, but he fought for the whole field.
And you've made psychiatry globally a better place to be.
Gracias, Saul.
Saul, thank you for all your work.
Thank you, Saul.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Saul Levin.
Thank you, Saul. Thank you for everything.
Saul, thank you.
Thank you, Saul.
Thank you for everything you've done for the APA.
Thank you, Saul.
Thank you, Saul.
Thank you. And ahehe in the Navajo language.
Thank you, Saul.
Hey, thank you, Saul, for all you've done for me, for all you've done for the field, and for all you've done for all the people we care so deeply about.
I know that you will be always close to the APA and that in your next role as Secretary General of the World Psychiatric Association, you will be an enthusiastic partner and a bridge between American psychiatry and the rest of the world. I wish you the best of luck in this and all of your future endeavors. On behalf of the APA and our members, it is my honor to present you with this plaque in recognition of your work and some of your major accomplishments during your tenure as CEO and Medical Director. Come. And I also, on a more personal level, I want to present with you this graffiti book. I know your passion for photography and for graffiti, and this is graffiti in New York City, so I know that you're going to enjoy it and you're going to have fun with it. So this is for you. So, thank you, and we will now take a brief pause as we move into the second part of our program. So, I think that there's going to be a little bit of a switch on the stage now. Right? Yes. That's your cue. Thank you for your patience. I know we had lots of things to go through and So, what an evening has been so far. Thank you for being here, and I'm now very pleased to introduce our keynote speaker and my guest for the fireside chat,